All right, we are live. Welcome everyone. It's Monday evening and we are working on chapter 18 from the practical work on self. And I'll start sharing my screen. We started with chapter 18 last week and we discussed it, repairing the past. And I think we went through few exercises on how to do this last week. I guess we can dive deeper this time. Since we are on this, I just want to mention that there were few moments during this week where I was actively experiencing, I was maybe just sitting in a room or whatever, and I was thinking, oh, when I look back at this moment from those three different lenses, let's say
Hmm.
from sensing, what would come up? Or like if I'm sensing now, what am I sensing at this point? So that experience was kind of interesting. It became too overwhelming very quickly, so I just let it go. But what do you guys think we should do? Should we read this again, or do we have like a good grasp of what this chapter is and we can just discuss what we need to discuss?
Read if everyone is okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's a very short chapter, anyways. So, do you want to get us started, Nishant?
Yeah,
Okay. Is this good enough? Should I zoom in a little bit more?
it's good for me. It's
Okay.
clear.
Yeah, I think should be okay.
Repairing the past. Out of habit, ordinary man lives in one centrum only. When it is burnt out, the centrum dies and becomes useless. At that point, a man can no longer work because he is already one third dead. When we are identified with the sleeping machine, we live only in the lower story of our organic house. Out of habit, we use one single centrum until it is useless, and then when it has burned out, we move like a gypsy into another camp. If we live like this in an ordinary house, we would not bother to replace a light bulb when it burnt out. We would simply move to another room. By the time we are forced to evacuate one centrum and relocate in another centrum, the machine is already one third dead. We will pass.
We would prefer to redecorate this new centrum in more or less the same way as our former centrum, from which we are now a refuge, but we no longer possess everything we formerly had. We were forced to leave a great deal behind when we evacuated. In this new centrum, we must improvise, make old familiar things with materials which seem very different. But with fantasy and imagination, we can make ourselves feel almost as comfortable as we were in our previous habitation. If we are accustomed to this single centrumed life, we could go mad as a result of this forced exile from our customary domicile. When all the material for life of this centrum had been used up, we would be forced to move to another centrum, there to become pathological and stupidly repetitive. After this, we would have nowhere else to which we could retreat, and our only possible fate would be to await the inevitable organic death of the whole machine. Pass.
Even in small children, even in small children, one centrum may be used up at an early age. Each centrum has only so much life depending on impressions and how it is used. When a centrum is used up, it is almost impossible to repair. Although every human biological machine has more or less the same allotment in the beginning, each uses this material for life at a different tempo. In ordinary life, it would be our fate to die first in one centrum, then in another, and finally in a third, the death of each centrum signaling the onset of mysterious new illnesses, which are called by scientists of contemporary medicine civilization diseases. Nothing available in the course of ordinary events would prevent this inexorable disintegration. When one centrum dies, the machine can no longer function as a transformational apparatus, and we are constrained to send those away who are dead in one or more centrums, unless they are useful to work to our work as a continued community. And I pass.
Sometimes it is possible to use a special ancient Sumerian method, what the Essenes living near Alexandria called raising the dead. We may, if the necessity arises, be able to repair a machine which is beyond ordinary hope. But this is so expensive that we cannot do it unless we have help from the higher dimensions, which means that it is somehow profitable for the work of higher dimensions. For any hope of possible evolution, the machine must be not only awake, but whole, its centrums intact and functional. If we had only three pair of shoes in our whole life and could never replace them, we would be fools to wear only one pair until it wore out and then wear another, and then the third pair. If we know how to live, we will change our shoes often, use them equally, make them last longer. And I pass.
It is not enough to begin now to live in more than just one centrum. Already we have wasted precious time in restricting our life and attention to only one centrum. Now we must not only repair the present, but also repair the past. We can repair the past to some extent by reviewing the life of the machine, at least its most important points, through the colored lenses of those centrums we ordinarily do not use. Our three-centrum review of the life of the machine conforms to the law of catching up. Thanks to our past identification with one dominant centrum of the sleeping machine, we already know quite enough about the other reciprocal law, the law of falling. At the end of each day, review impartially everything you did, along with everything that happened to you. But do not review these in the ordinary way. You are to make three separate and distinct passes through these events, reviewing each event through one of the three main lenses: sensing, feeling, and thinking, one lens at a time. For the purpose of this exercise, you should keep three separate journals, one for each centrum, each journal in the subjective language of its own unique centrum.
I would like to ask if anyone in the group has done this last exercise and written three journals.
You did?
Or I
You
no,
wrote the journal? No.
no. I was expecting that you, David, have made it somehow. But I didn't.
Ah, okay. Got it.
To be honest, I think I did it. I did that exercise for 2 nights, and then I forgot altogether.
Ah, okay.
So, out of the three different lenses through which we have to go through this exercise, I'm sometimes confused between sensing and feeling. They somehow like interconnect or like merge.
Yeah, no, they are. They're not. So there's sensing, but there's emotions, which are reactions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see if we understand what are the three centrums he's talking about here. I just thought of a different way to do this exercise because nobody's going to write in these journals. So what are the three? Let's just everybody, what are the three centrums that he's talking about?
Thinking centrum, the rational or whatever,
Okay.
emotional, and
Sensing.
the instinctive.
The what?
The instinctive or the moving center. The moving
Okay.
center
So the moving, the physical moving. Okay.
is the emotional
Okay. Good.
and the usual the thinking cap, the rational way or whatever.
Mental centrum,
Mental center, yes, thank you. Mental center.
body, motor centrum, and then the emotional centrum or move. So Does that make sense? I'd like everybody to say, does that make sense to you that there are three distinct centrums? Nikhil,
Yes. Yes.
what are they?
Sensing, feeling, and thinking,
Okay. Nishant,
which you refer to as yoga.
In the uh, in the other yoga practice that we do, they mention about four: intelligence, emotion, sex, and movement. Four centers.
okay. So instead of answering, he's saying, here's a whole different way of doing it. Okay. I'm just saying
No, I
right
mean,
now in this
yeah.
chapter, EJ is saying there are three centrums. Do you understand which three centrums he's talking about?
As per the last paragraph, it seems like it is sensing, feeling, and thinking.
Okay. And then in the yoga discipline you're talking about, they distinguish, and I understand why there's a distinction in the sexual centrum as well.
Yeah, so that is not a. I mean, it's more like a what is called excitement when they talk is sex, and it is more like.
Okay. I mean, it's also it's a power centrum too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rajesh, do you have a sense of in yourself of the three centrums that we're talking about here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Swati, do you?
I think I'm missing a little bit of
Hey,
context.
good. Go for it.
No, I lost a track of what exactly you mean when you are asking this question.
My question is, do you have a sense, do you understand what EJ is saying when he says there are three centrums?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So
David,
yes, sir.
David,
Yes,
there is
sir.
a notorious correspondence. The three centrums with the three brains. You know,
That's a whole other story. That's a whole the three brain creature, and then you flip the. Do we want
you
to go
mean
there too?
no? You mean that hasn't connection with that?
Maybe it does,
I believe it does. Yes.
and maybe who cares? Like right now, I'm just saying, do you have some sense of your moving centrum burning your body?
Yes.
Do you have a sense of your mental centrum?
Yes.
And do you have a sense of your feeling centrum?
Yes.
Okay. So since there's an enormous confusion about that, what in my mind might be a simple beginning that he's trying to offer to us. But, and certainly we can't do the journals, we can't seem to do, and I understand that that's too hard. That's great. I accept that. I think and I respect every single person here 100%. So, since we're not doing the journals, which is what he's suggesting to do here, maybe there's another, and I'm going to actually write this down too for the next time I do this, because it just came to me as I was listening to everybody. Another way to do the exercise is to intentionally do a different centrum from time to time during the day. Like, I'm going to read this journal, which I would expect, all our professionals here, which is all of you, I think, have to read professional journals, right?
Yes.
It's part of your job. Maybe not. Do you ever have to read a professional journal, Nishan?
Yes, yeah.
Constantly, right?
Mhm.
And then Rajesh and Swati, who are computer people, do you?
A
Not
lot.
much. I'm not much.
You don't?
No.
What do you do? What's your job?
Same software developer,
What is it?
computer. Yeah, computer
Computer.
and yeah.
Okay, good, good. So you're dealing with professional journals, right? And when you're doing those, are you exercising your intellectual centrum?
Right,
Yeah, right?
right.
It's kind of yes, I am. And then all he's inviting us to do is enhance our self-observation. So when you're in that realm, if you can remember to say to yourself, this is my mental centrum. No big deal. It's not a big deal. This is very simple stuff. It's just acknowledge it's empowering the your higher self by saying that's the mental centrum in operation. Now, most of us here are not moving centrum people, except for Bernie, who in the better weather, he rides his bike. Don't you, Bernie?
Yes, among other things, yes.
Yeah, he rides his bike. Like I'm the least motor centrum person here. I think. So maybe during the week I can force myself to use my motor centrum, like dance when there's no reason to dance. Walking is a little too banal, too common. But I mean, just like maybe instead of just listening to the music, I dance to the music and I acknowledge, oh, look, that's the motor centrum. Gotta write that down.
The moving centrum is wonderful to watch how it works by itself.
Nice. Do you want to say more about that? That's a very nice thought. Yeah.
Yes, and the funny thing is when you put too much mind in your movement center, it usually doesn't it interrupts its dance in a way.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that how it works by itself. And when you see the hand, what you do, I am very fond of manual activities, working in carpentry and sailing and all that stuff. And it's marvelous to see how the body and the machine working automatically very nicely, very nicely. And sometimes I realize that when you put too much brain on that, it is awkward to the machines. It doesn't work well.
doesn't
Yes,
work
yes,
well, right? You
yes,
overthink it.
yes, yes.
You know, like when this first came to me, Bernie, what you're talking about, years ago when I was tying a tie. Remember, I had to go to work, I had to wear a tie. And so I'm putting the tie on, and suddenly I realized my hands took over and I let them. And it's slightly complex to tie a tie properly, a single or double Windsor knot. Okay. When I would try to think about it, I would get confused.
Yes.
But if I let the motor centrum work, it flowed beautifully. Okay. So how would you exhibit? So Bernie gave us some great examples of the motor centrum. What are some, how would you possibly know you're in the feeling centrum or emotional centrum or sensing centrum when you are, or in the feeling centrum when you are, how can you know you're there? What are some examples of putting yourself in the feeling centrum?
It will be all the reactions, negative, uh, emotional.
Yeah. Which we have all day long, we have them all day long. So just go, oh, look, wow, I'm angry.
Frustration.
I'm frustrated.
Yes.
Or the ones we don't like to acknowledge, boy, that really made me feel good. or that cookie was, whoa, oh boy. Music might be another way. You listen to it and you start feeling really good, and that might actually get your motor centrum going.
I have a question here.
Good.
So, like, we are talking about using all the centrums and everything and feeling whatever, right? It could be positive, negative emotions, anything.
Anything.
So lately, and I think I'm very weak emotionally. Sometimes I feel like, say, for example, I'm frustrated at work. So what I have observed in other people that they are very much straightforward in the sense that they either feel or they don't feel, or even if they feel, they don't express it. But for me, like, past couple of the weeks, I feel like, say something is overwhelming. You are not able to get through it, or you are not able to understand, or you are not able to meet the deadlines or whatever, or you feel like, there is something which is beyond your, what do you call, your reach, and people try to push on you.
Capacity. Yeah.
And tears starts rolling down on my ears. I'm like, see, I'm
Okay.
at work, and this is very, and I think when I then it happened like last week, couple of the times, and then I realized I was always like that, and I feel like I should not be like that. So
You
am I
should not, wait a minute. Did you say you should not be that way?
right? And then I'm
Okay.
like, why I'm feeling even that I should not. I'm feeling tears are rolling. It should be like, I should let it go, even if others are noticing, not noticing. Why I am feeling shy of letting it go. And even like, it's beyond my control. It starts. Even if I want to stop, it doesn't stop. That I have experience. And with
Yeah.
aging, I'm getting weaker. If you call it like weakness, then I'm getting more like vulnerable and weaker. Something happens and it affects me, and emotions
Okay.
just, I mean, get expressed. I cannot control, but I'm somewhat like not 100%, but 30-40% I'm aware that my emotional centrum is like activated. And so I'm just thinking like, how should it be, uh, or should we control at all, or just observe?
Somebody help her with an answer.
I would say, Swati, you, right now, in this moment, observe your feeling, observe your emotion. You are in an emotional state, but anyway, you can observe and you can describe it. That is interesting that the three centrums, in a way, are interconnected, are are continually working together, or not.
Right.
No? So, and while you were describing it, I sense your emotion, your pain, and I felt it also. I sense it and I felt it, and I empathy, empathetic, exactly what in English. But well, we are that in a way. We are a very strange um, mechanical apparatus. No? Um, uh, I don't think animals are so much um, confused. We are. Yes, yes. No. They don't have so much trouble.
Really?
We are we are we are weird as animals, no? Because we can think, we can make abstraction thoughts. Oh, anyway,
And we give importance to it.
yes, yeah, of course. Yes. And we think with what we've done in the past and guilt and whatever. We are slaves for that. No.
So what else does anybody have to say to Swati?
Everybody is strong except me here.
No, I would say I identify with a lot of what you said, Swati. What I would say is don't change anything or don't try to fix or uh, find a solution for anything. Just let let whatever is happening, let it happen and observe yourself. Observe the events, yourself, your reactions, and uh, make a note of it. And like how David says, notice, hey, I'm I'm being anxious, or hey, this is interesting. I'm feeling this way, and kind of realize that hey, I'm not that.
Mm.
Yeah, but does that help?
I think, yeah.
A little bit. Mentally, she's going, yeah, mentally I kind of see it, but
No, so thing is, David, right? Here we are working towards ourselves, so we understand. But like at workplace, your friends, your colleagues, or who at least some to some extent cares for you. Hey, don't cry, don't cry. Okay, they feel like, as if I'm vulnerable and something bad will happen to me if I will show my tears or my expressions.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So that is something make you feel like, put you at the like things that you are putting yourself at a spot.
Like
And
you're like a real jerk, right?
yeah. So
Oh boy. So maybe the right answer. I had this was before I came to EJ. I had a teacher, and I had this big meditation thing going on, and then I came back and I was like, "Gosh, I really feel like I'm empty inside." And he says, "Well, you probably are. There's not much there, you know." So, in a certain way, Swati, in that moment, you're kind of insane. Okay. So what? I mean, so what? We care for you deeply here. Everybody here respects you. You know, we're very happy that you're part of our team. Nishant and I actually physically saw you. Right?
Yeah.
As crazy as you are, we still care for you deeply.
Thank you.
So, in that situation, that's going to happen in you. What are the tools that EJ says we have, Nikhil?
Presence and attention.
Presence and attention. So he's noted in no book that I have read, and you guys can correct me, but in no book that I've read does he say, "Oh, and if you cry when someone says that to you, just stop it." You know, like that's just wrong. Nowhere is, and Bernie and I have talked about this actually a lot, that this is not to change your psychology. It's to develop the muscles of attention and self-observation. It's a power tool. And so if you have, Spinoza says, every time I see an infirmity or a mistake in my being, I'm happy because then I know that I have something to work on. Well, maybe
Yeah.
we're not quite as powerful as he is.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's really good that Swati is exhibiting these things. So she's kind of exhibiting data and she's being open about what she's going through and she's giving herself all the information that she needs. That's much better than hiding and uh, not exhibiting data to yourself.
The fact that she can share it in this space is an example of true courage. That's a higher emotion, the higher feeling centrum. Okay? Because you're bringing something from out there and you're exposing it to this light. Now it's in our attention too, Swati. And so the next time it happens, there's a little teeny bit of us will be there with you.
Sure, thank you. I would say I will definitely feel you guys, your energies.
Yeah. Oh boy. So just there's this guy on somewhere on YouTube, I don't know where. And sometimes I wind up and he goes wherever he goes, he's got a super thin, long leg body, dancer's body, but he'll just start dancing. And then he watches how the other people dance and then he matches them. So his moving centrum is highly developed, isn't it? His motor centrum.
Yes.
He's free in that centrum. What EJ is talking about here is the slow death of one centrum or another. And so he's just saying, utilize yourself, all parts of yourself. How does it work now? How does it work today?
Question, David.
Yes.
Our work is fully mental work. We do lot of technical work throughout the day. So most of the energy, 95% energy is lost in the mental work. Is it
Yeah.
like overworking of one centrum?
Well, I don't know what it means to overwork one centrum. I do know what it means to not allow the other centrums to work. Do you work from your house or do you go to a workspace?
No, I work from home.
All 100% of the time?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. But as my memory is that you are married and have kids, right?
Yes. Yes.
How many kids?
2.
2 kids.
Yeah.
So Nishant had a great reminder for me the other day when it was about humiliation. Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I remember that.
What is?
This we were talking about how to put yourself in a position where you're humiliated,
Yeah,
and then you just said, "Dude, I'm married."
yeah, that should be enough.
I'm there all day long, brother.
I agree with that.
So allow that to occur. And you also have a natural thing. Your children aren't constrained. How old are they? They might be in their 30s, right? Or how old are they?
No, one is in 12th and the little one is in 3rd.
Okay. So they're still flowing and they're most of their centrums. Maybe, I don't know, But like if your kids go into notice when they go into an emotional centrum when it's safe and go there with them. Like if they're, I'll never forget this time. There was this like little 3-year-old girl. It was her parents were here and stuff, and she had like her doll. And I got down on the floor, and she goes, "Okay, so this is Annie, and Annie likes to do this, and then so Annie really wants to, and it was like she brought me into her world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I allowed myself to go there. Just the stupid things like go play catch with your boys or your, you know,
Playing with them. Okay.
playing with them, like just but physically moving with them.
Right.
And notice what Bernie said, the beauty of the motor centrum working by itself without the hindrance of the mental centrum always trying to dominate.
David, you said a word that struck some string.
Uh-oh.
Allowance.
Yeah.
To allow. We are so constrained by whatever civilization or standards that we must meet, and the concept of allowance is so fresh. At
Mm.
least it took something when you said that. No, allow your movement, allow your pain, allow your tears, allow your laugh. We need that. No, it's healthy, of course, it's healthy, and we allow that, and we can also observe it
Hmm.
and let it be, uh, and be happy.
Yeah. You
Yes, it's. I know. I continue to say this is not therapy, but we need therapy also. Of course, we need some freshness and be human in a way. No, allow ourselves to be human and make mistakes and be playful like children in a way. No, um, we are our worst enemy. In a way. No, because we don't allow ourselves to just be. Anyway,
So, yeah, and like there's a principle in Bardo voyaging that you guys are reading about when you're doing your readings, and that the portal being invited, noticing when you're invited into a portal, when there's a realm that is opening itself to you. So when you see somebody going into the emotional centrum, which doesn't always have to be bad, maybe you go there with them. Okay? Or you see somebody dancing on the mall, like next week or so, there's this, we have a holiday. You guys all now know, since you've been in America, that Christmas is a big deal. It's not that big a deal to me. But anyway, the holidays. But there's a lot of people. Like there'll be on Thursday nights, or whenever it is, there's this big event on the mall, and there'll be many, many, many people there, right? People walking, buying, eating food, and then they're going to be, and maybe there's going to be somebody that's dancing, right?
Right.
And
Singing
what if I
too.
go dance with that person? They'll love it. Or a little kid playing with a ball or something like that. And it's like allow yourself to be in those spaces for the good of your being. We're here for the sake of our being. Our being doesn't really care about our machine or its sleepiness. It just cares about serving the absolute. So every time we make a little bit of progress, we're paying tribute to that goal of letting it out just a little teeny bit. That's why with Bhavani, she keeps bringing up this thing about humor, but I haven't heard a good joke from her yet, right? What's that all about? Because it's hard for her, well, it doesn't matter why, but it's hard for her to just say a joke. Next time there's a gathering, I'll ask to see if it's okay for me to do a stand-up routine, 20 minutes or so. It's assuming that I'm still alive, right? That's like in 10 months or something. It's a long time. I'm just thinking of one of the jokes.
Tell us right now.
No.
But you even escaped this year.
What's that?
You even escaped this year, like, that night when we were supposed to meet you were supposed to come the next day to the house, right?
Yeah. But then the big guys wouldn't let me come. But I think I've told this joke before, but I'll tell it again because it's a good joke. But right above New York City, has anybody here been to New York City?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big, say big, bigger than Detroit, bigger than Austin, and big, tight city. And but it wasn't that far outside of it. There's this monastery. And this monk had come to a very high level, and the abbot said the next test for you is to see if you can hold your presence when you're in public. So he has one of the guys drive him into downtown New York City in Central Park. And he's walking through the park, and there's all these beautiful people. It's so exciting. And he sees a hot dog stand. And he says to the guy, He's looking at wait, watches how everybody does it. Then he goes, "Great, make me one with everything."
Mhm.
And the vendor puts on the mustard and the relish and the everything, right? Onions, and he wraps it up, gives it to the guy, and the guy gives him a $20 bill, and the guy puts it into his drawer, and the monk said, "Hey, where's my change?" And the vendor says, "Change comes from within." So, I mean, you never know when you're going to be tested on the path. Anyway, that'll be for another time. But it's fun doing that. It's fun for me to do that. Like I have fun telling jokes. And you can tell you guys with kids, you already heard me say this joke. A good joke for kids is, if you have 4 apples and 3 oranges, if when you have 4 apples in one hand and 3 oranges in another hand, what do you have?
Real big hands.
You have big hands.
Mhm.
And that's a good joke for the kids to tell it to the kids, because then it's fun for them to tell it to their friends, right?
Yes.
Anyway, so that's another take on the chapter is find ways that you can invite yourself into the other centrums, whether it's emotional, moving centrum, feeling centrum, or mental centrum. Okay?
All right. So should we close this chapter early tonight? Or
Well,
time? We are almost
yeah.
there.
So right now, I have far more energy than when we started.
Yes.
Yes.
Bernie,
Interesting.
isn't that
Yes.
interesting?
Yes. I was very sleepy. Now I'm. I thought, oh my God.
Because we allowed ourselves to enter into the group energetic, the invocational space that is called the group. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you all next Monday.
See you all next Monday. Bye-bye.
Okay.